Aloha, buddy. Tell you what, great job today. As I said last week, when we write this out, it kind of makes more sense for our brain. We make visual maps of things. Therefore, if you were to write out all of your times tables, even the ones that really are hard, you eventually would start seeing those in what you do in common day every life. So the same thing happens with music. I might not be able to tell you what 13 times 143 is. However, if I would have done my 13 timetables up to 200, I can guarantee you that I would have run into that numeral or that equation and then that answer more than I would have not. So with music, when we write down C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and we see that it has no sharps and flats, it kind of just registers with our brain. Thusly, when we write down B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, we realize that knowing that the 1 is major, the 2 is minor, the 3 is minor, the 4 is major, the 5 is major, the 6 is minor, and the 7th is diminished. We realize that the pattern that we found for one major key is the same pattern for every major key. We then do associations on our chords. Like a C major has 7 diatonic notes, the last of which, being a B diminished, will only be in the key of C major. B diminished resolves to C major. Just the way that C sharp diminished will only resolve to D major. There are other resolutions within chords, but those are the most powerful. When we play the chord of G major, G to A to B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F sharp, and then F sharp to G, we can specify their seniority as being major, G major, minor, A minor, minor, B minor, major, C major, major, D major, minor, E minor, F sharp diminished, and then G. Now the diminished has a flat 3, so is it a minor? Of sorts. It's a minor diminished. There is a flat 3 in it. To have a diminished chord, you have to have a flat 3 and a flat 5. So when we play in a chord like G major, we get all those chords. When we play in a chord like G flat, we have to think, if G major had 1 sharp, that must mean that G flat has no sharps. And that in fact, G flat will have 6 flats, because the F that was in the sharp of G in the key of G flat is now just a natural note. It was a sharp, now it's a natural. So we would have G flat major, A flat minor, B flat minor, C flat major, D flat major, E flat minor. Now when we have E flat minor, we can play it a couple different ways, but it's right here. And then what we would have our diminished chord going right back into our 1. So if our 1 was the G, and we know that we have 6 flats, and that's G flat, A flat minor, B flat minor, C flat major, D flat major, E flat minor, that must mean that when we go here, we're going to be changing to our chord that is right before our G flat, which is, you guessed it, F diminished. It's the only one in the whole thing that doesn't have a sharp or a flat. So this week, I would say maybe see that the G major, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and then the G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat major, D flat major, E flat minor, and then the F diminished resolves back to there. That is kind of the same as maybe like a G sharp. If we just move these scale preferences from this note, it's G sharp major, right? And then we move that note down to, like, let's say our G sharp major has to go to A sharp. The reason why we don't call it a G sharp major is because it's all fine when we do G sharp major and then G sharp minor, A sharp minor, B sharp minor, C sharp major, D sharp major, E sharp minor. But when we get to F sharp, it has to be called a F double sharp diminished. At that point, it's much easier to just think about our G sharp as being an A flat. I would much rather talk about a key that has 3 flat notes. A flat has B flat, E flat, and A flat, rather than saying it has 6 sharps and a double sharp. It just takes too much out of me. So for this week, try and see that. We have an A flat major. You got it. B flat minor, C flat minor, A flat major, B flat minor. We would have a C minor, a D flat major. We have D flat major, E flat major, D major, right? D major, E flat major. Then we would go to an F sharp minor, but that's not going to work for us. So none of these keys, when they get jumbled around, we don't really mix the flats and sharps when talking about triads going up in just triad form. But if we were just to name out all the notes, it would still have the same basis and principle. The A flat would have those 3 flats. So we had A flat major, B flat minor, C minor, D major, E flat major, F minor. Why? Because it works out that way. F minor, then we go to what's after F? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We have our G diminished, and then our G sharp diminished would feel right going into there into an A, but since we're going in A flat, a G diminished works perfectly. So write it down on a piece of paper, see if you can see the construct, and come up with these chords. If you have any questions about what these chords are, check out the website, all right? YouTube channel has all the chords already listed. All you have to do is type the name of the chord in, and then I'm gonna add one of my progression videos. Maybe you can follow along with that and get a quick jam going on, like a 1, 4, 5, 3. Ooh, that'd be fun. Anywho, it's good seeing you. We'll see you next week. Aloha.